Hey, my name is Ethan. I am the head of design here at FLORA, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make a world builder. And what this is going to let us do is start from any single text input. So in this case we have a story about an underground city, and then this will let us visualize our setting, characters, and any objects from this story world that our characters might encounter. So yeah, this is kind of what we will be putting together. We can also turn any of these images into videos to help us kind of further visualize what this world might look like that we're building. So we will Control A or Command A if you're on a Mac to select all of this, and then I'll just hit delete on my keyboard and we'll start from scratch. And I'll kind of show you from start to finish how we would build a network like that. So here we are in our blank canvas. Anywhere we can double click to add a new block. So in this case we want to start with text. I can also, as always, just hit T on my keyboard, and that will also pop a blank text block right into the canvas. So here we are with our text block. I'm going to recreate exactly what as closely as possible as to what I created or I showed you just a second ago. So we'll start with a text prompt here, but of course you don't have to prompt a story to start. You can copy and paste text in from somewhere else. So if you have a film script, music video storyboard, you're working on a book and you have a book manuscript, all of those things can be pasted in here, and you can follow this exact same workflow and the same logic. If you wanted to do that, you would click write or paste text, and then here in this top portion, you would just type whatever you want. So you copy and paste, type whatever. In this case, we are going to generate, so I'm going to come down here and I'm going to say, write a short story about an underground society. And then once this generates, we can have a look through our story. So very cool. We've got some world building going on here just from this one story prompt. Excellent. So now from here, I'll hover over the plus and I can either click that or I can click and drag somewhere else into my canvas so I can better place the next block that I want to place. And we're going to put another text block down. And so the way that text blocks work is once they're connected like this with one of our connectors, this new block has all of the context from this old block. So it has all the information about this story, all the characters, all the information. And so what's powerful about that is we can ask questions about this prior block. So if we want to say, isolate a description of just the setting and rewrite it as an image prompt. So now again, this will take our context from the setting of this ancient city or this underground city, and it will write it into what will be a much more effective image prompt. So now, with the assumption that we want to turn this into an image because we're trying to visualize what this world might look like, we can take that same technique, pop this out into another image block, and what I did there is just click, or again, I can just drag and I can turn into an image. So we want to turn this into an image, and much like how connecting text blocks shares context, when you connect the text block into an image block, you'll see that it copies the prompt over here. So I can't edit this because this prompt is now being input from this text block right into this image block. So let's see. So now we can go up here into our block toolbar and we can change some settings. So I think I'm going to use Luma Photon for this, and we'll do a 16:9 aspect ratio because I want this to be a little more filmic, a little more cinematic. And then down here, I'll click this bulk generation button, and then we can make 4 of these just so we can visualize everything at once. Cool. So while those are generating, we'll take the same approach and maybe we'll see what some of our main characters will look like. In this case, the followers from our story. So we'll drag out again, make a new text block, and we'll say isolate a description of the main characters. And again, we're going to rewrite as an image prompt, and that will give us the most detail in this kind of instance. So very cool. We've got this now, and we'll take that same approach turn this into an image. And since this is going to be a portrait of Lyra, our main character, let's again use photon, and maybe we'll do this as a vertical portrait. And then we'll also generate 4 variations of that. Cool. So now if we're thinking about this in structurally, we've got our setting, we've got our main character, and then let's do this again and maybe explore some of the objects that we might find in this world. So again, another text block. And this time I can say, make a list. Let's do a numbered list. I'll show you why in a second. Make a numbered list of objects that you might find in this world. Cool. Now these are great. And now, again, same principle. I can bring out another text block. And now that we have this list numbered, I can very quickly reference a particular one of those list items. So I can say, write an image prompt describing option 15. Sounds pretty interesting. And so now we've isolated this. And we can again turn this into an image. So we'll use maybe a different model this time. We'll do Flux Pro. And again, we'll do 16:9 because we're thinking this is going to be more of maybe a film that we want to visualize. And then we'll do 2 variations here and we'll click generate. And so now we'll go, while that's generating, we'll revisit. So cool, here is our setting, these underground city tunnels from our story. We've got some of the elements that were described. So some of the like bioluminescent mushrooms, very cool. And then down here we have a visualization of the hollowers, like these main characters from the story. So this is our main character, Lyra. Some different versions. There's maybe some more stylized, photorealistic versions. I mean, you can see there's pretty good stylistic consistency here because, again, we're referencing everything from this one story. So you can think about it as kind of like a funnel approach, right? So we have all of our information here from this kind of like source story, the source block, and then we're using other text blocks to kind of chip away and refine and isolate certain aspects that we want to further explore or further visualize. So in this case, we're just getting the setting, visualizing that, just getting the characters, etc., etc., etc. Cool. So here maybe some of the these are really cool. Some of the sculptures here that these characters may have made in this underground world. Let's take this another step further and maybe visualize some of these other objects as well. So we'll copy and paste this prompt. Now let's see, those water filtration systems sound interesting. So let's visualize option 9. We'll turn that into another text prompt, and then again out into video. Try again with photon, and let's make 2 of these. Yeah, and then so of course, because this is FLORA, we also have video. So if you want to maybe see what motion might look like, again, if you're storyboarding for a film or for a music video, and not just a still image, we can pick our favorite from these and maybe turn it into a video. So same principle, I find this add button, drag off, turn this into a video, and then we can choose what model we want. So let's do Dream Machine. And I won't include any prompt here because I just want to see if this will introduce a little motion maybe, so I can get an idea of what this might look like. And then we'll generate that and let that go. And we can come back down here, and here are some of those water filtration systems. So you can see this is a really useful tool for bringing in a kind of big idea and whittling it down into small parts. So if you have a book that you want to visualize your characters, if this will help you kind of brainstorm for any project you might be working on, you can, this structure, this kind of workflow is very adaptable to whatever you're trying to make, whatever you're trying to visualize. And of course, we just decided to break this down here by setting characters and objects, but of course you can make this a little more abstract. If you wanted another text block, you could ask for maybe some themes that are explored in the story. If you want to maybe make a little bit more of a minimalistic interpretation, like there's really infinite potential here to scale. But that's kind of a walkthrough of how you can kind of approach a problem like this inside of FLORA, kind of taking this big idea and again whittling it down into smaller parts. And visualizing. So anything can be turned into anything in FLORA, which is really, really exciting and gives us a lot of potential. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing what you make, and happy crafting. Thank you. Should we see this video? Hold on. Cool. Got some nice motion. So yeah. Thanks again. I'm Ethan, and you can follow us on socials. Thank you.